Unlock your full potential with Brain and Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just one capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the sports. Fuel your body with complete multivitamin, the perfect balance of essential nutrients for daily health and wellness. Carefully formulated from natural ingredients, our multivitamin packs vitamins A, C, D, E, plus key minerals like zinc and magnesium to support your immune system and boost energy. Just one tablet a day is all you need. Take it with water and feel the difference as prescribed by your healthcare provider. Stay active, stay strong, stay ready with Complete Multivitamin, your daily dose of vitality. Complete Multivitamin, simple, powerful nutrition. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition store.
Yeah, for only $32.90. Karibuni sana. Hope you guys are doing amazing this wonderful evening. Afternoon on your end, exactly 17 minutes past the top of the hour right here in the 254. It's been a good day. It's been a fantastic week. Hope you have enjoyed as well. Hope you're ready for the weekend. And of course, hope you're ready for today's conversation. To everyone live with us on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, everyone listening on the radio, Karibuni sana once again to yet another beautiful program. Today, we shall be talking about why people who have built their countries on blood and sweat of Black people, or if you'd like to say Black American, but I'd say Black people, and this just globally, not just America, but also globally. But along that, we shall be talking about, of course, other more matters I'll be sharing regarding that conversation. I'll be sharing a video coming from Louis Francan, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Louis Francan, and of course, who's giving a speech regarding this as he talks about Israel and the people in control of majority of the things. And then along that, shall also, of course, share another video as we get to continue, which is explaining, of course, the economy of America collapsing. We shall be getting into that. And along that, we'll combine, of course, the major amazing things also Ibrahim Traore is doing, of course, for the Burkinabe people, which has attracted a lot of attention. This is literally the hero of Africa right now, the president of Africa. There's a picture of him going viral as, the man at the center, and then all the African flags surrounding him. And you can see literally people just saying, this is the man of Africa we need. And it's just amazing to also see that people reasoning this way, because it's a discussion we've been having. If Africa has the possibility of having one leader, and we can see actually it has a possibility. If you have someone who is on the right direction, then yes, for sure, we can actually be able to do that and, plan that. But anyway, as we get started with today's conversation, shout out to John Mosquito, I see you in the building. Hope you're doing amazing. I saw your comment earlier, by the way. It's called Matching Colors. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay, I want us to share this video here that is explaining a little bit about tipping. Do you guys know the history of tipping, where it comes from, where it originated from? I don't think majority of you know, but of course I'm here to hook you up with knowledge, just the same way you guys do hook me up with knowledge all the time. So let me share this as you get to understand a thing or two before we get to move on forward.
For over a century, tipping has ingrained itself into American culture. What was once considered a largely European practice has now been fully adopted by Americans and, unsurprisingly, taken to a completely different level. But did you know that the practice of tipping is rooted in racism and enslaved African Americans? Well, Today, we're going to talk about it. And if you like stories like this, you can find more stories like this at onemyhistory.com. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so on Buy Me Coffee on my Patreon in the description below. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. But without further ado, let's get started. The concept of tipping or offering a gratuity has existed for hundreds of years and differs slightly across cultures, tracing its roots back to the 16th century Tudor period of England, where overnight guests typically would present veils as tips to their host household staff to show appreciation for their service.
Personally, I don't know many of you do tip. General Mostro, do you like tipping? Are you a tipper? Personally, I do like tipping, but if I'm good, of course, if I feel like I'm generous enough in a specific day, not all the goddamn time, not all the time that I'm gonna go maybe to a store or a shop, I'm gonna be leaving my change. No, I personally believe in service. I feel like tipping does come off with the service you've gotten. Of course, if you felt welcomed, how you've been treated, especially in a country, say a country like Tanzania is really a country. If you get good service, you're tempted to tip because people are so kind, very welcoming. So personally, if I give a tip, is number one, am I okay financially? Am I just gonna give because I should give? No, I should be okay financially. And of course, the services also do matter because I'm heavy on services personally.
Time rolled on. During the 16th to 17th centuries, tipping evolved and became customary in English coffee houses. As the legend goes, eager for swift service, it began to drop coins into a box marked to ensure promptitude, abbreviated to TIP.
Exactly, because it creates motivation. The more actually, if you leave me a tip because of maybe you felt I was too nice to you or you liked my service, next time I'm gonna do even, I don't know, it just encourages you to do more. It encourages your spirit, to do more to many people, or just continue being good if you really also have it. Because there are people who are gonna do service just because they need the tip, not because they really have the heart of service. There's a difference.
This is widely believed to be the origin of the term tipping, but it's most likely a myth. So what's the reality? The 17th century European feudal period contributed significantly to shaping today's tipping culture. Tipping was almost non-existent in the United States before the Civil War, but it was commonplace for European nobility to reward service workers with an additional sum of money or a tip. This practice eventually made its way across the Atlantic, arriving on American shores in the late 19th century when wealthy Americans in the 1860s discovered the tradition. Wanting to seem autocratic, these individuals began tipping upon their return to the United States. However, in the years before the Civil War, America was divided into two parts, the North, which was more industrialized, and the South, where slavery had formed the backbone of their economy. The South benefited heavily from the unpaid labor of enslaved Africans. After the 13th Amendment was passed in 1865, marking the end of slavery and led to a period known as Reconstruction. This phase was not only about freeing formerly enslaved African Americans, but assimilating them into American society. However, these issues started to take new forms, one of them being the tipping system that was introduced during the Reconstruction era. When tipping was first introduced to America, it was met with fierce opposition and was derided as un-American. They saw it as a form of bribery and belittled the workers and felt that it was unfair and classist. They questioned why.
Excuse me. Today, actually, if you look at it, it's now when it's described as bribery. Because in the world of today, we have most of the people demanding money. Like the police officers, you've not even offered services to the people, like protecting them. All you do is kill, and yet you want money. Like,
individuals who are already financially struggling were expected to pay an additional tip after their meal. In the 1860s, these anti-tipping views were so strong that they traveled their way back to Europe, and it's one of the reasons why tips are generally unexpected in European restaurants today. Despite this, tipping continued to increase. Still, there were many who were not happy with the tradition. In 1915, 6 states temporarily banned tipping. In 1918, the state of Georgia declared tips as a commercial bribe, meaning that tips given to influence service were against the law. Despite these controversial beginnings, tips continue to be practiced in the southern United States. This adoption across the country was accelerated due to prohibition. In 1920, there was a nationwide ban on alcoholic beverages that had a ripple effect across society. Prohibition meant that many hotel owners changed their bars into lunch places and started serving food to everybody, especially because these meals were ordered from menus. The owners didn't mind tipping because they no longer saw it as a bribe. Eventually, tipping became socially accepted as restaurateurs soon realized they stood
I don't know, maybe I can say it sounds also like a borrowed culture too, because I feel like personally I've said when it comes to Africa, one thing or one of the cultures we've grown up with is when you go visit someone's house, because of how good they treated you or how welcoming they were the first time, the next time you're gonna come, you'll come with a shopping bag, maybe sugar, it could be a ugali flour, it could be a bag of rice or milk. Today, personally for me, if I go back home to my folks, or even my uncle's place when I go visit, it's mandatory for me to have shopping. Not really mandatory like a black tax, but it's just like, talking of just appreciation, like to the people who know they have been really nice to you in a sort of way. So I feel like it can also be, or I'd say it's a borrowed culture, maybe from Africa or African way, as much as they're saying it originated from Europe. Karibu sana Keith, hope you're doing amazing.
Asante sana. Dang, how long you been going?
11 minutes.
All right. Oh yeah, let me give shout out to Cassius and Big Cheese. Yeah, I see your donations, fellas. I appreciate it.
You get to eat some chicken, no more lentils. Huh?
Ain't no chicken.
No more salad. Huh?
Got your
No more salad. But anyway, Karibu, we're talking about, I'm just sharing this history right here about tipping and where it really originated from. And today, literally, if you look at also
it started with racism. They didn't want to play black people anything. Everything they do is about wicked racism. It's crazy. These people are psychopaths. Idea that we got conquered by these savages just drives me crazy. Anyway, go ahead.
to benefit from the opportunity to subsidize their worker pay with guest extra money. Due to this, tipping caught on nationally, even in the North, and today it is an expected part of American society. While the tradition of tipping was started by the upper class and copied from Europe, when this custom reached America, it took on a disturbing element for the Black community. Those that didn't end up sharecropping would end up working menial positions. These jobs paid very little, and the staff was expected to survive on the tips they were given by their customers. It's assumed that because they were newly freed slaves, they should be appreciative of any income, even if it wasn't guaranteed. These industries saw tipping as a chance to manipulate the system and essentially continue the institution of slavery by paying their Black workers only in tips. Despite the official abolishment of slavery, Black individuals continued to struggle with limited economic and social rights. Tipping was just another way to cover up and continue slavery in a different form, reinforcing the idea that Black labor was not worth a fair wage and reinforcing Black workers to rely on the inconsistent generosity of mainly white customers. George Pullman, who established the Pullman Company in 1859, offered high-class sleeping cars for passenger trains. Starting in 1868, he hired on African-American men, many who were formerly enslaved, as porters. Pullman Company believed that they were ideal for the role of servants. He initially paid them extremely low. They only earned $27.50 a month in 1916. That is roughly about $814 today and would be about the equivalent of $10,000 annually. Despite this fact, they worked almost 400 hours a month. The working conditions were harsh and they were frequently mistreated. However, Pullman encouraged the wealthy passengers of these luxury cars to leave the men tips. Tipping had a substantial impact on the wage practices for African Americans, an impact that still can be seen today. It deepened the economic inequalities between the races, and it began a trend of not providing full minimum wage protections to tip workers. And this was a policy that heavily impacted the Black community. Society also often labeled Black workers as lazy, but expected white customers to leave them generous tips. It was believed that without tips, the service of African American workers would be extremely poor. Additionally, relying on tips for income made Black workers heavily reliant on customer bias, creating a power imbalance that was very reminiscent of a master-slave relationship. The civil rights movement had a dramatic impact on labor laws and how Black workers were perceived. Title VII, which is a pivotal part of the Civil Rights Act 1964, made it illegal to discriminate based on race, religion, sex, or nationality concerning jobs or salaries. This law also addressed tipping practices and forced restaurant owners to pay at least tip minimum wage to their staff, regardless of how many tips they made. Unfortunately, despite the law's intentions, many tip workers, often African Americans, found themselves earning less than minimum wage, highlighting the persistent racial wage imbalances. Even with these issues, the African American community and civil rights activists welcome these legislative changes as a vital initial move to recognize the rights of Black workers. Today, the way we tip in America has remained almost the same since the establishment of the federal minimum wage for tip workers during the New Deal era. Legislation passed in 1938 required employers to pay tip minimum wage, a wage that, including tips, would equal the federal minimum wage. As time passed, rules in the 1970s encouraged fair payment for restaurant staff. Presently, the federal minimum wage for tip workers is about $2.13, while the primary minimum wage is about $17.25. In the United States, tipping has become not just a custom, but an essential part of a service income.
Well, not really a custom, because if it's a custom, I'm supposed to do it willingly. Again, like I said, personally, I believe tipping comes out of service. Like, do you feel like you've gotten the right service? You maybe even overly expected? Do you feel welcomed? Especially in restaurants, even shops. Personally, I speak about service. I'm not gonna come to your shop, you're all moody, and you expect me to tip you. Like, I'm not even giving you my money, number one. That is just personally a rule I have. I'm never going to be carried by anyone who's moody, not a boda guy, not an Uber person. You either talk or you let me out. It's my money. It's me paying. So I want service. So I feel like what I've seen in America most of the times, the crazy videos I see on TikTok, especially in this, the Popeyes joints or these, McDonald's joints, you see women fighting customers because they didn't get tipped. I've seen all those crazy videos of, let me see if I can find one. Women going crazy because they didn't get tipped. Like, it's supposed to come out naturally.
Generally, patrons tip about 15 to 20% of their total bill as a thank you for good service. According to the Council for Economic Advisors, 98% of customers in the United States leave a tip, and Americans tip more money to restaurant servers than any other country in the world. Sadly, racial bias plays a factor that influences tipping behavior, particularly in America. There is an existing stereotype in the service industry that Black people do not tip well. Studies confirm that this bias does impact earnings. A research study done by the Restaurant Opportunity Center United in 2018 revealed that Black restaurant workers see about 15 to 25% less in tip than their white coworkers. Similarly, a Cornell School of Hotel Administration highlighted that people are more likely to tip their service workers who share the same racial background. It states that Black taxicab drivers get about 1/3 less tips than their white colleagues. And these studies underscore the impact of racial prejudice on tipped earnings. This skewed tipping practice is rooted in a long-standing racial stereotypes. Some people hold misguided beliefs that Black people are economically disadvantaged and hence leave them smaller tips. Others feed into the stereotypes about attitudes or behavior of Black people while dining out or using their services. This misconception creates a biased two-tier tipping system skewed against African Americans and does not reflect reality.
Well, maybe a little bit it does reflect reality, because every Black American has the ability of tipping. I mean, like I said, personally, I'll do it. Also, if I'm well, just because you gave me good service and I have that's the only change I'm supposed to go eat back at home, doesn't mean I'm gonna give you my money. Hell no. But let me share a couple of videos here of some of the related case. Personally, I've seen these videos a couple of times of where people go crazy if you don't tip them, where even a fight erupts because you didn't get tipped. It's crazy. Let me share this.
Hey, bro, what do you want, bro? What are you on? I paid for my food. I paid for my food. What are you talking? Why are you following me down the fucking street? Fuck back. You need to get back. Why are you following me? Why are you following me? What do you think? Why are you following me? What are you gonna do? Call 911. Call 911. If you need to settle something, you know who to call.
Was he following for?
Go tell him. You go tell him.
He's following him because he didn't tip. These are, some of the videos. Restaurant owner gets mad over.
I don't gotta tip you. Tipping is a not a right, moron. That's not tipping. If I feel you gave me above or beyond service.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about paid the bill. I'm not tipping anything if I don't feel like my tip is you better get out of my face. That's my tip.
No, actually, I've seen this. Another lady, I think, also got stabbed because of the same case in the States. In your guys' country, this is happening a whole lot. I don't see this in Africa. No lie, Actually, if you see someone tipping you, it's like wow. Because we don't expect that. It's not a norm and it's not a must. So, like I said, it's supposed to come off literally the service you've gotten. But
tell them. You go tell them. You go tell them. I paid for my food. I handed you $20. You can't charge me more than what the menu say. So what are you talking about? Bro, I'm not legally required to give you a fucking tip. Get the fuck back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back, bro. Huh? I'm telling you to get back.
Yelling at me. And then this is the same thing I think we've been talking about. These are Asian. I think
Asians talking crazy.
Now feeling entitled.
Exactly. You listen. You talking about just about get back, dude? You better not never. You better not ever come up on me, dude. You're supposed to handle that. I don't care. Now, you better not ever come up on me talking about a tip, and I didn't pay my. You better not even feel. You better not ever feel you okay to come up on me talking about a tip. Because, boy, you already invaded my personal space. And it's about to be, stuff's about to happen. And I'm not, what? You supposed to put the fear of God in this Asian dude.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I'm not trying to fuck with you. You piece of shit. Bro, I'm not trying to
goddamn fucking yelling at me.
I'm not trying to fuck with you, bro.
You shut your goddamn fucking mouth, man.
Why are you following me down the street?
You piece of shit, little piece
bro,
of shit, man.
I paid for my food.
I'll smack the shit out of you. Goddamn voice at me, huh?
Soon as you said that, it's on and popping, little Asian man. As soon as you said that, it's on and popping. There's no way you gonna walk down the street with me. No way. You be Jackie Chan, Ching Lee, all that fake kung fu shit. That ain't gonna work. So I'm gonna drag your ass. I'm gonna drag your ass up and down this goddamn sidewalk, boy.
Jackie Chan, Chang.
Back in the corner. You trying to back me into a corner, bro?
What is wrong with you, bro?
What are you doing? What are you doing, bro? What are you doing?
You did nothing wrong.
What are you doing, bro?
Bro, talk, bro.
What are you doing?
What are you doing, bro?
Bro, what are you doing? Bro, what are you doing? What are you doing, bro?
Yo, keep asking what you doing.
Hey, take my bag. Take my bag. Take my bag. Hey, take this.
Hey, take it back.
Get back. Fuck back.
Chill out. Yeah, but that's
you need to get back, bro.
Okay.
You need to get back.
What you doing?
No, get back, bro.
Do something. We about to
get back.
Get
back, bro.
This ain't Africa, boy. This ain't Africa. You don't let that dude walk up on you like this ain't Africa, moron. No, when you just got in the country, this ain't Africa. You Chinese people don't do that to us in here. This ain't Africa. You're gonna get dragged up and down the street. No way. You're walking this long with this dude. Are you crazy?
Well, competition over tipping lands an Evanston restaurant owner in some hot water. And now he's sitting down with our Sarah Maki to say he takes full responsibility.
Eat, man. Eat, man. Whatever one of these big karate dudes Joey looked at when she was a kid. I don't listen. You're getting drugged up and down the street.
Fault.
Hey, bro, what are you on, bro? What are you on? I paid for my food.
Evanston restaurant owner Kenny Cho says he takes full responsibility for his actions in this video, taken Saturday afternoon, telling us he followed a regular into the street, intending to tell him never to come back after leaving without tipping again.
You gonna tell them? I I paid for my food. I handed you $20. You can't charge me more than what the menu say. So what are you talking about?
But the tensions escalated, the men yelling at each other for several minutes as the customer walked
Exactly
away
right.
from the business.
Well, he's sitting the wrong person. I've never seen this. You're not walking nobody Black American down this. You sitting the wrong person. What's up? I wish you would come behind me, asking me with a. Are you out your mind? I'm not gonna do a bunch of bro talking to you. Say, listen here, dude. Be authoritarian. Listen here, dude.
Am I supposed to?
For your health benefit, I suggest you turn around and go back to your restaurant for your health. This is about. I'm concerned about your health. Okay. Because if you follow me some more down this block, there's going to be some health problems for you. Okay? That's the last time I mentioned it. Then we're going to get to some dragging around here. No way. I've never, you crazy. I'm not doing a bunch of bro talking with you either. Hey, bro, what you doing, bro? I'm not doing none of that. So listen here. I'll tell you one more time. Don't walk up behind me. I feel threatened. I feel like you're threatening my life. And I feel like my life is about to be something done to you.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of videos. Literally, it happens. I've seen this a whole lot of times. Where someone, if you don't tip, they get angry. Let me see this on the last.
If y'all wanted a water refill, we want y'all waters. How am I supposed to know you want a Sprite? You ask. Just like she told me she wanted, just like they told me they wanted Mountain Dew, she told me she wanted that Bless Your.
I can tell it's too loud.
But you guys know the trope that Black people always tip. Because I don't want that person. I always tip. I don't want the thing that, he's a Black guy. He's not going to tip, right? When I go someplace and eat, because it's always, the Black guy's not going to, the Black people don't, because we broke. We broke. We don't got no money to be tipping. We paying you your money, especially when we don't get enough. Most places, you don't even get good service no more. And I hate to say, especially if you're getting some service by somebody Black, they talking to you crazy, acting crazy. What was that? I had to go get a physical yesterday. A bunch of Black, they were so sweet and kind. I was like, wow, all Black women, just sweet and lovely. I was like, wow, this is how Black people used to be. It was just sweet and kind. I'm in a hospital. You can't tip in the hospital. I said, man, I just appreciate you guys' behavior and your attitudes. Man, this is great. They made just the whole thing, great. I was getting prostate and all that, getting my booty touched.
Don't say that in front of people. I told you.
I had to get a prostate exam. Got to lose some weight too, guys. Damn it. It was nice. Hey, you look heavy there. So yeah, I got to lose some weight. But anyway, most places I go to now, service is so terrible. You don't get any tips. You just treated like with disdain. If your water's low, nobody want to get you water. But if you want tips, your customer service has got to go above and beyond. That's the reason why people feel required to tip towards you. They be like, they want to tip because you went above and beyond service. Give them good service, so he's like, wow, I got to get this person a tip. If I'm just not giving you no tip or no regular service, that's your job. I paid the bill, so I'm not giving you no tip for you doing your job. You better, like especially when I was drinking soda. My soda better be filled up every time. You be looking and say, sir, would you like some more Sprite? Yeah, you better get to work. Back then with Dr. Pepper. You like some more Dr. Pepper? That's right, yeah. If I gotta say, hey, my soda, and you get some Dr. Pepper, it's no tip for you. Because I had to keep telling you that my soda's done. Hey, where you at? Where you going? So, you had to get the 2 fingers. When you gotta go get your prostate unsucking one. They do that. He said the wrong precedent. But like I said, but if you get good service, you really don't. I ain't been to a restaurant so long anyway. I'm not married no more. Usually got to take women to restaurants. I'm not going to restaurant. That's over in the restaurant. Damn, it's years ago. Like. Just say, don't you like eating kids and all that old stuff?
Yeah.
Look at that.
You're gonna say 10 years.
It's been about that long. There's a certain restaurant I like to go. If you guys, it used to be at Tampa too. There was a Portuguese Steakhouse. That's where I used to get my steak, right? Portuguese place called damn. Now I just had it in my head. Now I just lost it. I used to go with my friends. You guys remember I used to have Big Lou on the show. That was our place. Rodizio. That's the name place called Rodizio. Let me just real quick. So let me do this. So the place called Rodizio's. I used to go there because you got the buffet. You get all the meat. It's all, and they do little special stuff. You know, has anybody been to a Portuguese steakhouse where they put the fire on the meat and got the stuff simmering and all this kind of special stuff? It's like, and the steak is so like butter. So that's the last. And damn, that was 11 years ago. That was 2014. I went. Was that 15? So 2014, 2015, we went. I think it was 2014. That was 11 years ago. That's crazy. So, that was my favorite places, though. Yeah, you have yeah. So you have. Let me see. We have one in Torrance. Yeah, no, it's called Rodizio. They're all over the country, right? So the little steak houses, man. I know. I love this place. You know, I ain't been 11 years.
Yeah. Yeah, you love it. Yeah.
By the time I was going, I would go out with friends all the time. No. I went 2017. My fault. That's how it was 2017, right? That's my word was 2000. So less than a year ago. So I remember when I was getting, you guys, when I was doing that show, that relationship show I was developing called what was that thing? Love, Lust, and Trust on the Real, something like that. When I used to have Lady Divine, you guys remember I had Lady Divine here back in the day? Man, it's been years ago. Wow, that's crazy. Almost 10 years. That was 8 years ago now. 8 years. That was 2017. That's the last time I went because I took a group of women. Yeah. It's a Brazilian. Yeah, right. It's a Brazilian steakhouse. My fault. I always say because they speak Portuguese. My fault. It's a Brazilian. You're right. Brazilian steakhouse. I don't know if I said Portuguese because they speak Portuguese, right? In Brazil, right? So, yeah, the Brazilian steak, exactly right. Second one is Brazilian steakhouse. My bad. So I had a group of women that I was interviewing, and they all showed up at my house. And I was head out there. I said, come on, I'll just interview you over lunch, right? And then you know in America you can't be racist because they'll get you. Some white woman showed up, right? White woman. And I remember my son, my daughter, the one I found I didn't know I had a daughter, right? She called me and said, what you doing with that white woman? She going, what you doing with that white woman? I said, hey, man, be quiet. You're on the phone. What you doing? Quiet now. Stop all that. What you doing with that white woman? Your audience will tell you. I said, no. I'm like, the kid, be quiet, man. I can't discriminate. I'm not going to hire her. I'm going to get rid of her. But she came for the interview too. I couldn't say, looking for only black people. You can't do that. It's illegal. Yeah. You got this looking for people. Then you the same way they do us. They put it in everybody black coming in. Like, no, not that black. No, until they get the white person. So that's what I was doing. So the white girl showed up, right? And remember, because I also had her on here, right? I had her doing it because I had to be. Also had her on because that's when that coon. I had a coon from Sacramento. Like, man, where's the white woman? Where you got that white woman? Where's the white woman? Because remember, I had her on here on YouTube and Facebook. Because I remember I did all the interviews live, and it was one cooler. Because I had both of them on here, the black woman and the white woman. And I remember a week later when I got rid of her, the guy was like, "Where's the white woman? Where's the white woman?" I said, "No, I didn't hire her." Oh man, where's the white woman at? This was a coon out ass Negro. But anyway, last time I went there, it was like I said, I was doing interviews and I was going out to lunch. So I took him all the way down to the lunch, right? So I took him all the way down to the lunch. And I never forget because my daughter's mother had called me on video camera and I had him in the car with me. Yeah, who's that white woman? What you doing? What are you doing with that white woman? I said, quiet, man. It's a black woman here too. Be quiet. And so I took them down to Rodizio's to interview them there. Both of them there. And then I ended up picking, of course, the black woman. But I took them both out to eat at the Brazilian steakhouse. I'll never forget that. My damn daughter's mother. What you doing with that white woman? What's she in your car? What you doing? What you doing with that white? You better get rid of her ass now. You better get her ass out of there now. I said, man, you calm, because I had my little earpiece in. You can hear. You guys know you got your Bluetooth in. I can hear it talk. And I got them both in the back seat. I had my Lincoln Navigator. And I'm driving down. You better get that white woman out of there. You better get her ass out. You better get her ass out of there right now. You better get her ass out of there. And I'm trying not to be like I'm like, hey man, calm down, man. What you doing, man? They probably can hear you through the phone. Calm down, man. You gonna have me on charges of discrimination, man. I'm not gonna hire her. Calm down, man. And the funny part about the white lady heard me when we got down to Rodizio, right? She was still on the phone. You better get it. So she called me again, right? I picked it up, trying to be slick. You better get her ass out of there. And the white woman overheard me say, so I guess you're not gonna hire me, huh? Is that what's going on? Sure, my daughter's mother. You better get her ass out of there. You better get her ass out. You better make sure she got there. How's she getting home? How's she getting home? You better make sure you better put her on a bus or something. I said, no, she got a car back at my house. I gotta take her back to the house. The car's parked in my house. Going all crazy. You better get her ass out of there. That's all she kept saying. You better get her ass out of there. I don't care what's going on.
Right. But anyway, as we get into the main conversation, learn how to tip. If you can, fine. If you can't, it's all good too. Don't feel guilty. So long as you don't have someone crazy walking towards you like that Chinese over there, that is just a hell no. But shout out to everyone with us on the chat. I see you guys. Shout out to Sunken One, John Mosquito. It's Louis.
Go ahead, Jabby.
Yeah, it's Louis John Mosquito. I'm gonna share his video. As you see, Jason Karibu Sana. And Sunken One says that happened to my ex-mother-in-law. She was an overtopper, but it was a bad service. She'd leave a penny.
A penny is 1 cent, Joby.
Oh dang! What am I doing with 1 cent?
That's why he did it to show that your service was bad.
I'll just go, literally just go with your penny. Shout out to Ricky. Shout out to everyone with us on the chat. Shout out to KW Don. But anyway, as we get into the main conversation of today, I want to share this video of Louis Francan, however you want to pronounce his name, as we expand on what has been happening with Ibrahim Traore, right, Keith? I don't know if you have any videos you wanted to share on your side, but I'm going to start with this one here as we break down what we want to talk about.
Nobody hates white people because of their color. White people are hated in the world because of their evil against themselves and the people of the world. There is no intelligent Caucasian person here in the audience or watching by satellite or in the various colleges and universities throughout America who will refuse or deny the fact that Caucasian people, or as they're called, white people, came to power over the darker people, not through righteous means, through means that are universally considered immoral and even wicked. Come on. Don't go on me.
They came to power through moral means. Wasn't because they were bad and all this, mostly because they were full of disease or they were brutal and savagery. That's how they got control of the world. And then when they got it, be calm. Don't do everything peaceful. Don't uprise. Just let us rule everything. Like Joe did that bit with that guy in Australia. We want a white world. We want a white country. even though we stole all this stuff now, it's ours. We stole it and murdered billions of people on this continent, right, called Australia. You know, but now it's ours, and we want to keep it. You know, it's crazy talk.
White people deserve a home.
Yeah, deserve a home.
All right. Now, most white people don't like it when you make generalities. Nobody does. But in truth,
oh, they would say, they ain't us. I'm not all the white people, though they do.
The people of that particular color or absence of it are responsible for the destruction
even though Farrakhan's
of most of,
even though Farrakhan's a bootlicking coon too. He's a bootlicking phony too. So he just this good talk, but don't forget he's a bootlicking phony too. He's also responsible for the plot of killing Malcolm X. He's a bootlicking phony. He's a puppet. And so they're allowed to say some good things to steer you in the wrong direction, but he's a puppet too. This the moron that told you that our hair type was an act from the devil. We was wrong, and that's how you had gnats in your head talking all this old crazy shit, right? This moron here, you know, he's like back here. He's the one told you that our hair was evil. First, we all had slick hair, like then we became against God, and then it became nappy. You know, didn't even know. Why didn't your God you supposed to worship tell you that this is the regular hair and there all this stuff like your hair's fur? Why you didn't know that? Because you didn't know science. Because yours is just a fake hustle, you know. Then he apologized for that. Why you aren't you in communication with God? God didn't tell you what was real hair and which wasn't. Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry what I said. Shut up. Get out of here, con man. And I went to that goofy march. Damn, that's 30 years ago. 1995. It's 2025. That's 30 years ago. That Million Man March. Luckily, we asked 1 million men to come across from all across America. I was lucky. I didn't have to pay nothing because my mother lived up there. She lived up in Maryland. She worked for the United States, the federal government. So me, I had to rent no hotel, and all I did was drive up there and stay at my mom's house. And it cost me nothing to go down to the mall. Right? Everybody spent all their money to get on the bus or take a plane, wherever to get up there. And you get up there, and it was the biggest con game. I might have been young. I said, man, this is a hustle. This is a con game. Wasn't about no power, nothing. That's why you know he's a fake. He's a phony. Just come together. If you're going to bring 1 million men, you're supposed to start setting up institutions for power. These people are never about any power. This is just a hustle, religious hustle again. It's that religious crap. So you bring 1 million men. We know it's 1 million men that we had up because I was there. And there was nothing done on power basis. And shout out to John Henry Clark that called it out, called it a phony vanity project. He's nothing but a Negro preacher. It's a vanity making. Look, I got 1 million black men. It's a vanity project. Nothing was done. You see, 30 years later, whatever came of that movement? Nothing, because it wasn't supposed to do nothing. It's a vanity project to stroke his ego. He had to be the big head Negro. Stroke his damn ego, because he's a con man and a phony. Had us all up there. I was mad as hell. I was like, what was? And everybody was mad. Everybody said, what was this 2-day event? Because they all spent their money. Remember, everybody came from California, New York, coming down to D.C. My mom lived in the area, Jack. I just went to the house, stayed in my old room. Okay. Got up, got in my car, and drove it. Everybody spent their money, flew in, took buses all across the country, coming from Chicago, coming in from Atlanta, Los Angeles, Houston, New York, Baltimore, Detroit, everywhere. It was magical because it's like, look at all these black men, look at this power. So with all that power, you can now set up things are moved by institutions, God. He didn't build no, just look at me. I'm a Negro preacher. Look what I can do, white man. So it was all a con. This dude, that's what I knew. At that time, I didn't know at that time I was young, I didn't know he was responsible for Malcolm X's death. I know this no good bastard here was a conspirator in killing Malcolm X. And that's a fact. That's a known fact. This no good bastard. Why ain't he in prison? We know he conspired with the federal government to kill Malcolm X. So him talking this nonsense and up there talking, and we also know when Khalid Muhammad got too big, he threw Khalid Muhammad under the bus too. Who was real? He threw Khalid Muhammad right under the bus when the white folks came after him. When yeah, it's like Farrakhan. It's like there's a frustrated Baptist preacher. Exactly, he's doing this preacher hustle because they know black people globally we go for all that goofy religion and talking all loud and being a reverend and all that stuff. And the white man this and the white man that. And if you don't know, this is a con. This is a hustle. That's to make you feel good. And you go back home, don't nothing change. You're still stuck in poverty. While he lives in his mansion, got his big fancy car, you're still poor. Yeah, I sure love the way Farrakhan talked about the white man. Well, what's changed in your life? Well, nothing. I'm still messed up. I'm still messed up in the game. Right. Go ahead, Joby. Go ahead and finish. Go ahead.
I think the fact you've already criticized him, I feel kind of...
what you play it. No, still play it. Criticize.
The DACA people of the world.
This is the teaching that...
And their way.
You always get them talking good, Joe. This propaganda only works when there's some truth in it. So what he's saying is truthful, but he's a con man. He's a phony. So I did
get that because on the coming interview, he's talking about some religion nonsense. If I listen to him, he's kind of defending the Jews. He's not really standing on his words of what he really said.
That's who created. That's who backs him. Go ahead.
Means, but through means that are universally considered immoral and even wicked. Come on. Don't go to sleep on me now.
That makes you feel good because it's true. You know they're immoral and wicked. That makes you feel, ooh, wow, he just, look at the Reverend, look at the Reverend Farrakhan just telling the truth about them being wicked. Go ahead, Joe.
All right. Now, most white people don't like it when you make generalities. Nobody does. But in truth, the people of that particular color or absence of it are responsible for the destruction of most of, if not all of, the DACA people of the world and their way. Whether you came, as you say, in the name of Jesus, that didn't make what you did right. You destroyed people in the name of Jesus. You murdered and pillaged and raped and robbed people in the name of Jesus. You deceived people in the name of Jesus. So, since this is true, coming in sinful flesh could mean he came looking like the people who had captured the people of God. That's why when you say we're racist and we hate people who have white skin.
Hello, brothers and sisters. I hope you're all doing fine. Now, the Caucasians have tried to erase the black history, and they have tried so much to intimidate black folks long after they used them in the slavery period, and in which they made sure their countries were built by the sweat of black folks. Now, these are not my words. These are the words of the one and only Louis Farrakhan. Now, it must be remembered that Louis Farrakhan has been fighting for the rights of black minority in the U.S. and he has been speaking the truth, and he has been telling them how much.
Even Friday, no, he hasn't. So this the unsophisticated. He learned he's unsophisticated. He has not been fighting for Black America. He's not been fighting. Okay, he's a con man. You don't know this is preacher hustle nonsense. You're not sophisticated enough because you hear a bunch of words. You think he's fighting on behalf of Black people. He's not. He's a con man. It's all fake. It's all phony. He's sponsored by the very same people that you think he's fighting. And this has already been proven. This is a fact. Okay, so you're not setting up African dude wherever you're from. You're not sophisticated enough to understand how propaganda works. You think that's why you think he's fighting. He's actually backed by the same people he's supposedly fighting. He's backed by them. Because they need you to have, everything has pressure like a cooker. You need something to relieve pressure or you just blow up and you be fighting in the street. So you need a pressure cooker to stop the pressure. That's what he's there to do. He's the Negro preacher hustle game again. White people ain't no good. They blah, blah, blah. All that preaching Negro shit. Blah, 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 blah. But nothing ever gets done. Nothing ever changes. He just for you to blow off some steam. But nothing ever changes. This dude's been around. This Farrakhan's been around for 60 years. What's changed? Nothing. 60 years this dude's been doing the same talking points. Before I was born, they killed Malcolm X before I was born. That was 65. He was Malcolm X's right-hand man. Just like they do in Africa. He was Malcolm X's fucking right-hand man. Who got him killed? Who killed him? Mm-hmm. Right? Do this for me, Joey, on YouTube. Go YouTube. Go to the say Louis Farrakhan. Louis Farrakhan says, so what if we killed Malcolm? He was our traitor. Because Malcolm X was a Pan-African. None of these Negroes in that fake group were never Pan-Africans. They don't give a damn about Africans. This is not the goofy religion. Malcolm X said, we got to go back to Africa and become Pan-Africans. They didn't like that. It's nothing they liked. And the power he was getting in Africa, they were all getting jealous. The Farrakhans, the Elijah Muhammad's.
Oh, sorry. Shut the wrong video.
Go ahead. Yeah. No, that's the wrong. Say. Louis Farrakhan says Malcolm X was our traitor. And it was our right to kill him.
Yeah, I love it. Muhammad Anwar, you exactly.
93.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And I'm not a killer, but neither are you. But if somebody attack what you love, each one of you in here would become a killer. This
when he was being discovered as see, for years they didn't know that this Negro, Malcolm X's right-hand man, this fake Negro was also in the, see, this is how these Negroes work. That's why I'll show you what happened in Burkina Faso. Make sure you know who's close to you, man. I'm telling you. You better vet people. Malcolm X being young, didn't know that this bootlick handkerchief head Negro here was jealous and was going to betray him and was going to group with the U.S. government. We know it's a fact now. He conspired with the CIA and the FBI to have Malcolm murdered. This coon-ass nigga here. But now all he's doing is just, when now it's all being exposed 30 years later, like, well, you know, talking all crazy, whatever. This bootlick handkerchief head Negro here. Go ahead, Joby. God didn't tell you not to kill Malcolm.
Am I lying? Mother, let somebody look like they're attacking your child.
See, look at this.
There's a woman who...
He's trying to justify what he did because he's caught now.
Because the bear snatched her baby. And she ran the bear down, screaming until the bear dropped.
What's the bear got to do with a baby? We want to know why were you with the government killing Malcolm X? See, you don't know how to preach that preacher deflection. And your baby is caught by a bear. What would you do with the bear? You run it down. He's trying to say Malcolm betrayed him because Malcolm was talking about Africa and wanted to be away from these goofy Negroes. How did he betray him? He said we need to unite with African. Again, that's the thing. These Negroes are not Pan-African. They never have been. They fake. Some fake goopy religion that they made up out of nothing. This religion is not even Islam. It's some made up nonsense, right? It's goopy nonsense. The African people minds are always messed up with goopy religions. This ain't even Islam. Called the Nation of Islam, ain't got nothing to do with no Islam. Nothing. They told you that this dude's teacher and this other white man was God. You're like, are you out of your mind? It's how crazy. Black people just follow any kind of goofy religion. But anyway, he's getting caught. Now he's trying to make all these parables justifying his treachery to his best friend. And Malcolm was also his teacher. Right? Malcolm was his teacher, was this no good bastard's teacher. He brought him into the organization, he the one taught him. So this no good bastard was his friend, and Malcolm was his teacher. This no good bastard here. Okay, so we know these are all facts I'm giving you. This is all known now. We know Malcolm brought this moron in. All right, we know it's a fact. Malcolm recruited this moron here, this idiot here, brought him in, showed him love, kindness, taught him how to speak, taught him what to say, taught him how the world works. And of course, he's the big head Negro. So the U.S. government comes to them, FBI, CIA, recruits this Negro here to go kill him. We know it's a fact. No one's going to tell you, no one's going to deny this no more. Why is this Negro in jail? Because he's always been a government agent. That's why. They put guns, just like in Africa. They put these Negroes in your community, give them all the dumb, fiery speeches to cause confusion within your community. We always got the same thing, doing that same thing in America. We're still black people. So this is what they do. They raise up a puppet Negro like this. So that African Negro on that Joby show, he's been fighting for black people. He's not smart enough to know anything yet. He doesn't know propaganda. He doesn't understand that you're not looking at nobody fight for no. This is all a con. Go ahead, Joby. I'm finished.
Love casts out fear. We don't give a damn about no white man law when you attack what we love.
See, we don't care. He don't care about no white man. See, this is all fake. See, he don't care about damn about no white man. See, he's saying that we didn't care about the law when we killed Malcolm, not knowing that it was a government that brought them in to kill him. Because Malcolm had become too big of a symbol. Wasn't that fake Martin Luther King stuff? Martin had become too big. Remember, Africa's now becoming free. And so Africa's the breadbasket of the world. So Malcolm is connecting African Americans and Africans together. That's a no-no. He's got to go. He's not talking that Martin Luther King nonsense. He's talking about African people uniting. And so they go and bring these goofy morons and say, yeah, I know you're upset with Malcolm Lee. Let's go kill his ass. So understand, he's talking all this old white man nonsense. When it's the white man that recruited him and made it possible for them to kill Malcolm. See, and none of these brain dead morons here in this aisle here don't even think behind. We don't care about no white man's law. Well, you're the white man's country, and the law globally is their law. And if you do something they don't like, they come to get your ass and lock you up. So he just admit he knows it's already known that he's part of the thing that killed Malcolm. We don't care about the white man and his law. Yeah, you will. Because if you was on the up and up, they would have snatched your ass and you've been locked the fuck up right now. Hell you talking about? You don't care about no white man's law. They brought you in because you're a traitor's ass Negro. And always be careful who you get in your inner circles. You better make sure you justify any friends next to you. Because Negroes are the worst traitors. They'll sell your ass out for a ham sandwich. Give me an egg sandwich, boss. I'll give you a whole bunch of eggs, Negro. Ooh. Sell your ass out. Next thing you got a bullet in your head. Go ahead, Joe. They all clapping like one.
And frankly, it ain't none of your business.
See, and then your business, we can see, none of your business. And we killed him.
got to say about it? Did you teach Malcolm?
Did
you make Malcolm? Did you clean up Malcolm? Did you put Malcolm out before the world? Was Malcolm your traitor or was he ours?
Was he your
and
traitor or our
if we
traitor?
dealt with him like a nation deals with a traitor, what the hell business is it of yours?
That's how you know. Because if y'all come out that he was behind it. He deal with a traitor. You ain't no nation, moron. You some goofy religious group. You ain't no trolling no nation. They ain't talking about. You don't got the right to kill nobody. But you did it because the government, you didn't go do it yourself. The CIA made it possible for you to do it. We know that. You Negroes don't have any power. We know the CIA had you people go and kill Malcolm. It's a fact. That's why you screamed up there, because it was coming out that you were behind it, moron. Hey, you still talking about your... Man, I always want to put things in perspective. Then you get talking your black talk nonsense. Negro, you are traitor to black people. You're a con man. What are you talking about? Who gave you the right to kill Malcolm X? Nobody knew the hell you were. Nobody give a damn about your ass. You are nobody.
Excuse me.
That's why they now made you a figure now. White, and it's funny, white people made you now a figure. You get to talk, but you ain't never done nothing. What did you do? What are your accomplishments? Nothing. What have you accomplished? Except all this goofy rhetoric. You keep talking. Make one dumbass speech after the next time. I'm fighting it with the black, white people wrong, and the whitey this, and the white people that, and white people this. They don't know that you sponsored by white people. White power sponsor your ass. That's why you were never locked up for the murder of Malcolm X. And then they locked up the wrong people. They knew they were wrong because the government did it. People stayed in prison all that time. They know his ass because they recruited his ass. They know who killed him. It came out, they did the thing 4 years ago, showing Farrakhan and the CIA and the FBI all involved. And they knew they captured the wrong, locked up these other black people, had nothing to do with it. They were in jail 15, 16 years, whatever it was, 20 years. All right? That's how they do you. So anybody talking this Negro preacher crap to you, throw their ass in the damn garbage bin. Show me what the church has done, or the Islam, whatever the hell goofy religion has done for black people globally. Nothing. Black people on the bottom, we're the poorest people on the planet. So keep telling me what they've done. Have they employed all these people? They haven't done nothing. Just do a bunch of Negro talking about the white man this and the white man that, when they all sponsored by the white. See, these religions are all what? Tax exempt. They're 5031C, right? 50C13, whatever we call the thing, right? They all get tax money from the government. All don't have to pay taxes. So they're not no revolutionary nothing. Negro preacher talk. Hustle nigga talk. Hustle nigga. I was too young back then. I was in 95. This, not, but I'm smart. I'm like this. Like, what is this shit here? What am I looking at? What is this garbage? I was instantly angry with this nonsense. What is this preacher talk? Everybody was getting mad too. Everybody was a whole bunch of black men and like, what? Because they spent their money. We ain't got a lot of money as black people. I didn't take no plane from California or wherever I came. All right there in the area. All right. I just drove into the city and parked my car on the outside and walked to the mall. I was cool. Everybody left was all mad. We're family, go back home. Be a better dad. Be a better person. What? Be a better person? What are you talking about, man? What institution are we going to build to get power? We're not going to do none of that. This is a con. This is a con, Negroes. And if you guys remember, the Asians, as they always do, always want to be opportunists. You know that black people didn't even control the concession stands around there. So the Asians were all around there making money off of us with T-shirts. Here, Negroes, buy this T-shirt saying Black Pride. So the Asians were making millions of dollars off of us. It was the Asians had trucks all lined up around there. So black people weren't even making money off their own movements, right? You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me with this nonsense. So this con man hustle Negro talk, you know, ain't this Negro still alive? Was he like now? Was Farrakhan like 99? This Negro still alive. This Negro was old when I was born.
You just shut your mouth.
Yeah, shut your mouth. Yeah. There's always a bunch of women around here with this group.
Because in the future, we're going to become a nation. And the nation got to be able to deal with traitors and cutthroats and turncoats.
Yeah, with traitors.
The white man deals with his. The Jews deal with theirs. Salman Rushdie wrote a nasty thing about the prophet, and Imam Khomeini put out a death thing on him, and it stands today.
It was taken off, Moran. So that's what we're talking about. He was being called out finally because he lied for so many years. I had nothing to do with it. But when now people start investigating, fine for years and years, now this Negro was involved. For years and years, back in the 70s, I don't know nothing. Malcolm's death was just an accident. The government did it. I loved him. He was my teacher. Better watch out, these Negroes you teaching. Probably gave that nigga an egg sandwich.
Egg sandwich.
Probably gave him an extra plate of ugali. You want to play that? Extra plate of ugali? I sure would like that, boss.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to John Mosquito. He says, I had to check up about 23 years ago. They shoved some long plastic. What?
There's got some long plastic in my penis. Painful as hell. Yeah, so you got one. And I ain't been back since. Yeah, he told his prostate exam, Joe. He got this. You ain't been back in 23 years? John Mosquito. You probably, I know you held it because you're in shape. You walk around. I'm out of shape, so I had to take it again. I gotta get myself back in shape. So I don't think you got prostate cancer, nothing. You can't talk black but live in white neighborhoods. Yeah. So, yeah, that's where he lives at. Exactly. He lives in a whole all white neighborhood mansion. Exactly right, Ricky. Exactly right. He was only 50 years old. Yeah, I was just the same year with the O.J. Simpson trial. Well, OJ was in 95. OJ was before that though. The Million Man Mark was out I think it was in September or October that year. I want to say it was in September, October. It was out September or October. Admitted to Malcolm X's daughter. Yeah, he made it. Yeah, Vicky Dillard praises Farrakhan. Yeah, birds of a feather. Yeah, of course you remember she was old Christian. Joey was talking about what's wrong with that Vicky Dillard? She looks crazy. Remember, Vicky Dillard only did that for some penis. Remember, because the dude. Yeah, that's right, Joe. We keeping it real. Sorry. So remember, what you say, Joe?
That's always just some shit messed with shit like this.
Hold on, Joey. So remember, Vicky Dillard was dating, according to the other fake one, called herself Michi X. Ain't got to do with no Malcolm X. Michi X had told you that. Remember, she was trying to date one of these Nation of Islam Farrakhan dudes, but he dumped her. Right? That's why she's all in the picture, especially she was a church person. Like this, you go, Vicky did. So yeah, there she go, her crazy ass. So she's a holy roller, but of course she's a con woman too. Another con woman. She went to jail for stealing people's money, home house scams. She's all of them together. Tariq Nasheed, Vicky Dillard, Professor Black Shoe, Jason. They all comment. Jason Black, the Field Advice Show Negro. Now he's on first he's with the African, then now he's with the FBA nonsense, right? They're all now on this FBA, as Joby said, this FBA stuff. So now they're all with this fake FBA nonsense, right? All the con men are. You hear all of them talking about FBA nonsense and hate African people, right? So they're all on that new hustle. They're all on the division because they're all phonies. They're all fake. This broad as fake as the day is long. You know, all these long eyelashes doing all fake. Namaste. With the eyelashes all crap. Namaste, family. Hotep. What she say? I want you to do that. She coming with a whole. They was this chick like in 7 years. What she say? She said every introduction of religion, Hotep, amen, niggas, namaste, habba dabba dabba, doobie doobie doobie.
I don't like her videos. I don't like them.
Crazy bastard talking about. So, comment. Go ahead, Joe.
Now, CK just says, I never liked Frank Khan. Elijah Muhammad was there.
Exactly. I was caught up. I was young. I was young. So I was the fiery speech. I said, yeah, he's a revolutionary leader. You get caught up in the speeches because I wasn't sophisticated enough yet to know this Negro was a con man. Because I'm just listening to the good thing, talking about our history. I'm not understanding the lies and the truth he's telling. I didn't know that yet. So shout out to you, Cassius. You already knew. I didn't know none of this yet. I wasn't smart enough yet till I got the Million Man March really did me in. There are definitely more women in church. Of course, the women always got to be. The men are like, man, get out of that nonsense. Bobby Hemmings said the Million Man March was to count black men 60-25 for Big Brother. It might be, yeah, a COINTELPRO program. I wouldn't doubt it because it was so fake. That's what really woke me up. I was like, wow. Because I'm smart. I'm like, wow, I got played. This is crazy. There's nothing get done here. I didn't think that much yet, Jason. I didn't think about COINTEL yet. I just knew this is fake. But it took me to almost the end, right? I ain't gonna lie, I stayed the whole 2 days. Took me almost to the end. I said, this is some garbage. This is some Negro preacher now. Because I was already out the church by then. I knew that church stuff was nonsense by then. You know what I said, this is some Negro preacher hustle shit. Oh, man. They got me. But I was happy. I ain't spend no money. Everybody spent. My mama lived down the road in Maryland. I had to get back in my car, go back to her house. I didn't have to spend no hotel money, no food money. All these Negroes that saved all their money to go to that nonsense didn't do nothing. Everybody said they didn't do nothing. And remember they had it again 10 years ago. Remember the 20-year anniversary? Because I was arguing with Lou back then. Ain't nobody going to show up for that. Lou, everybody knows the hustle. I was arguing with Lou back then. In 2015, they did a 20-year anniversary, right? I said, no Million Men showing up for that garbage no more. And they didn't. Million Man didn't come back in 2015 for that nonsense, do a 20-year reunion. Is anybody coming back to that nonsense? After the 1992 riots, my mother and me said, no more church. You laughing? I'm laughing just because in 92, that's what my grandmother disowned my black ass. Because I said, man, the church stuff is fake. Get out of here. Now, I'm in LA, right? And she told me, get out of the house. Get out of my house. Don't come back. I said, hey, you gonna throw away your own grandson for some made-up white man you ain't never met? That's how deep this brainwashing goes. So you're going to throw away your own grandchild for some white man you ain't never met. That what you telling me? Right, boy, you evil. You not be with Jesus. You wicked. You can't die. We laughing. You can't come in my house no more. Talking about you ain't got nothing to do with Jesus, boy. You evil. Don't darken my door. You doing some kind. You like your mama. You doing wicked stuff. You got to remember, my mama got rid of Christianity too, just like your mom did, Jason. My mom said, "Nah, this stuff is phony. This stuff is fake." Right? So, and at that time we were young. We didn't want to come out of it because our father still had to say it. Because our mama had got out of it. We were like, man, maybe mom's crazy. Mom don't deal with Jesus. Because we were still in it. We still brainwashed, right? We still brainwashed. We said, man, mom, because I remember talking about my brothers. I said, mom didn't gave up Jesus, man. You're going to hell. Which is what we was talking, right? They would throw your ass away for the white man. Exactly. So, exactly right. Exactly right. Stuff I got thrown out the door. So, when we were younger, my mom had switched. She had left the church. She's like, I'm out of this. This stuff is fake. It's phony. It ain't real. It's just a bunch of lies. But my mom never really discussed it with us, why she left and what was going on. She never talked about it. So that time we were all living with my father. That time my mom had moved, like I said, to Maryland, right? Moved to the D.C. area where all them Kenyan people are at. All them Kenyans, right? So moved over there. So we still live in L.A., but we just heard, we would talk to us. And so my father said, ooh, your mama done got rid of Jesus. We were like, What? You know, that's a trigger. You know, black people, that's a trigger in our head. I'm like Jovi. I told Jovi, I was like Jovi. I said, Jesus was real, right? So I'm all triggered. Like, what? You got rid of Jesus?
That's crazy.
I'm all triggered. I'm like, what got rid of Jesus? What? Well, young. Me, my brother said, Mom got rid of Jesus. What's she doing then? What's she? You know, we be so stupid. We don't think that she don't believe in God. No, she don't give rid of the fake Jesus. Now you don't believe in God. That's how everybody black think. She don't believe in God. I remember my youngest brother. I don't know if I can be around or not being around. Are you sure, Dad? She got rid of God. Jesus, this fake Jesus God, right? So we all messed up. So I remember when we went to go visit her on the summer. How we went on? Me and my brothers went out to Maryland to visit her during the summer break, right? We were in there, and so she had turned to Buddhism, and you know we were freaked out. We ain't know nothing about no different. She because we know she got rid of Jesus. So we asked her, say, well, Mama, you know, can you take us to church? Whatever church. I don't do no church things, guys. No more boys. I've become a Buddhist. We didn't know what that even was yet. Boo-hoo? Buddha? What? we so badly educated with bodies, Mike. We're like, Buddha? But and Sue heard that, we thought there had to be some evil, wicked shit. We didn't know that was actually Buddha was the Christ before they made the fake Jesus. We know we kids, right? She said, I'm practicing Buddhism now. And we didn't know about, when you read, Buddhists got the they got the bells, right? When you hit the bells, we know bells vibration. You go ding, 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 ding. That's vibrational awareness, that the sounds raise your vibration. And so one day and we know that mantras raise your vibration. So one day we was all in there, like I said, we visited for summer. So we all like in our rooms, and we had some mum yo ring we had some biggie bo yo show yo jing jing jo jing jing ding bing bong ding 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 ding. My brother, what the hell is that? I said, man, I don't know what the fuck is going on. But my brother said, is she doing some witchcraft around here? Brother Eric, is she doing some witchcraft around here? Ching, ching, miggy, diggy, jong, ching, bong, bong, jong, jong, dong, 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 dong. So my mom had a two-story house. So we ran downstairs. We like, and she spun this thing, with these, what do you call them bells, them Buddha bells, right? Them Buddha bells. They go bong. You what you see now all on TikTok. You crazy, that's right. We didn't know it's Sonoma. So we know the ones you see on TikTok, everybody doing healing things. Now I know what it is now, but she never explained none of this stuff as children. We were teenagers then. We were like 14, something like that. But so we, because we hear some straight. We upstairs. Ching chong, buggy biggy bong bong, jong, jing jing yong, yang 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 yong. Like what? So you waking up out your sleep like, the hell is that? What's going on? Somebody let some Chinese people up in here or something? We don't know what language that is, right? So you guys know Buddhism, they do a mantra. They do it like, it's Nam Yo Ho Ring Ge Kyo, Jiggy Jing Bing Bong, Jing Jing Bong, Bong Jong, Jinggy Jing, Jinggy Jing Bong Bong. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I don't mean to be disrespectful. That's the way I heard it, right? Ching ching bong, nam yo jong, jing jong bong bong, jing jing bong. I heard bong 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 bong. Like, what the hell is that? What's going on? So we ran downstairs and we didn't get close. We just like looked outside. We're like, the hell is going on? This some kind of witchcraft shit going on. Because she's in the living room in front of this Buddhist thing, right? So we peered around the corner. We're like, what the hell is doing some witchcraft? What is this? What language is that? We asking, like, what language is this she talking? What is this? What's going on? But what language is this? So we said, what language is this, man? I remember when my mother used to talk to certain gypsies, she knew they would look at me and say to her that was a grown man, not a young black child. Okay, yeah. So the stuff. So you go boom. She been that thing boom, 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 boom. It's your Ricky, walk, Ricky, jiggy, up, jiggy, yeah, yo, yibby, yeah.
That's witchcraft.
I'm like, what the hell is going on? It's not witchcraft. It's actually ancient African. But you don't
I know, but that's not been called witchcraft in Africa.
Of course, I'm caught up in a religion. I don't know anything about this yet. I'm still stupid. I'm just looking at, and we like, so we say, man, mama going to hell. Jiggy jing boom 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 jiggy jiggy boom boom hi ya she ya shibby yo shobby jiggy ya. See this a mantra, guys. A mantra helps your vibration and it actually lightens you. So raise your vibration. We don't know nothing about that, but we know because we grew up in the church. Oh, we see your mama go. Yin yang, jibby yang yang, yang 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 yang, bum bum jibby 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 jibby, ho ho yay, yay yo yo yin yang ya, yin yang yo yo yabby yabby you, boom 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 boom. She get up, yin yang jing 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 jing, baba jibby 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 yang yang yang. So then. So then you lucky you didn't end up in Jonestown driving drinking Kool-Aid. No, she wasn't doing the Christian thing. This was Buddhist. So she did turn around to us because we were so scared of it. That's how indoctrinating this Christian reality. She turned to us and said, boys, would you like to know what I'm doing? We said, hell no. We didn't cuss back then. We said, no, we don't want to know. We your thing. We don't want to know none of it. No, we don't want to know none of this. We thought it was evil and wicked. Right? No, we don't. I said, damn, Dad was right. Mom then turned to the dark side. This motherfucker crazy. Right? Ying, yang, bing, yang, jingy, jing, bingy, bingy, bong, bong, jong, long, jong, jing, jing, wong. Dingy, dingy, dong, dong, dingy, dingy, bong, bong, yong, yong, yeah. Ding, 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 bong, 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 bong. Oh, shit. This is crazy, man. So, but when she wanted to teach, we were at that time. I was too indoctrinated with the Christian thing. I was too scared. I'm like, man, this too far. I don't know about nobody doing ching ching, bada bang bang, boom boom bang, and then binging and then beating on bells and shit. What's with the bell beating, man? What's going on? So we had made friends in Maryland, but we were scared to bring them over our house because we didn't want them to catch our mama doing that Buddha stuff.
Oh my.
That's right. We didn't want to let the friends that we met in Maryland guys come over to the house. She be there, jing, jing, bing, bang, bong, bong, jong, hey, wong, wong, jong. Nah. My brother said, we can't let nobody come over here, man.
Crazy.
That's true, Joby. Anyway, but so she had got rid. So that's my grandmother had disavowed her, right? Had disavowed her. I said, dang, Mama Granny won't talk to you no more. She said, I don't care. My mom cussed like, I don't care. She fucked up anyway. My mother and grandmother never spoke again since I was a child. Never. Because my grandma wasn't accepting no more because she never accepted me. When I came grown, she never talked to me again either when I got rid of you. But, so they never even spoke. They never spoke because my mother died before my wicked grandmother. My grandmother was still alive when my mother passed away. Her old ass was still alive. Right? And she refused to come to my mother's funeral.
Wow.
Yeah, she because I remember because at that time I brought my mom down to Florida. She died here in the state. My grandma lived way across the country in California. She's like, baby, that's too far to go. That's clear across the country. I'm not going over. He's talking about, I said, yes. I said, you know, your daughter passed away. And so that's my brothers never forgave my grandmother either, because they still kept, these Negroes still love Jesus. They still with the Jesus nonsense. But they refused. They said, wow, you want to come to your daughter's death? You want to come to her funeral because of some religion? Your own daughter, the person you gave birth to? That's when my own brothers finally disavowed her ass, right? She refused to come. No, your mama turned away from the Lord. Turned away from the Lord. I just can't be around that kind of stuff. Can't be around. She's passed away, lady. Your daughter has died. You gonna let some religion keep you away from saying your goodbyes to your own child? Is that your mind is this messed up? Your own baby has died, and you're not gonna at least say goodbye to your own baby? That's how deep this religion goes, how it infested. Because I ain't talked to her for years either. That's why I said, you know, Mama's gone, so we're making arrangements for you to fly on out here and be part of the funeral processions. No, baby, y'all do what y'all do. That's crazy. She never said, no, baby, y'all do what y'all do. Your mama turned away from the Lord. I told her I can't be involved with nothing she do. Nothing she's doing. She died. She's gone. She's gone. You understand that? She's gone. It's not nothing she's doing. She's died. She's gone. Your daughter has died. You understand this? Your daughter is gone. Well, I can't be involved in that. She turned away. She turned her back on the Lord. I just can't be a part of none of that. You know, you guys, you know, say your goodbyes to her. You know, I wish her well. Wish her well. She's dead. I mean, wish her this crazy talk. I wish her well. You know, I can't be involved in none of that because she turned her back on Jesus. That's how deep this shit goes for black people. It's how deep and insidious it goes. The brainwashing is deep. You won't even say goodbye to your own daughter because of some fake religion some white man gave you. I said, wow. That's when my brothers got mad because they still Jesus nuts. So they were still talking to her. That's when they finally turned their backs on her ass. Like, she want to come see her own daughter? At least give us comfort. I said, hey, she been turned her back on me. I don't give a damn what she do. I don't give a damn what she do. Shit. And when she died, don't come calling me to go nothing. When she died, throw some dirt on her ass and whatever you do, don't call me. Don't call me for nothing. Yeah, honest that drop speak. Yeah, see that start speaking to each other for their personal issues, especially Louisiana women. Yeah. That religion, man, that religion is deep, Jason. That shit is crazy. So we were young. I didn't know what all that, but I learned what it was. I said, wow, okay, that's actually ancient Africa. See, this is actually spiritual teaching, and the Buddha was the Christ. That's where they get the Jesus nonsense from. I didn't know none of that. You know, you're a kid, you like 14 coming down the stage like hold it, Joby. Like, what the hell is going on down there? What's going on, Mel? So I learned later, said, oh, that's the Christ. That's what we got. I didn't know none of that stuff. Yeah. Keep y'all in everything. Jesus saved. What about that? My mom left all the Abraham religions alone. So she was in. Remember, see, my mom grew up in the 60s or so she's part of that whole Black revolutionary thing with the Panthers. She's part of the Black Panthers in LA and all that stuff. So, you know, the Jesus thing just didn't fit for her no more. So I learned that later on. You know, she was searching for truth, right? She had enough confidence. I think when she broke away from my father, because he know he wasn't gonna allow none of that shit. This was a coon ass Negro. My dad was a white ass kissing Negro. As a lawyer in LA, this dude never met no white buddy. He wanted to put his talking about Shannon Sharp love, but my dad loved to put his tongue up any white man's butt he could find. Come here, do I know you? Can I put my tongue in your butt? So she wasn't gonna make it. she wasn't going to be able to find herself being with this dead in the head Negro, right? She wasn't going to be able to find who she was. So I know that was probably eating at her, going to these churches. So she wasn't going to be able to find who she was until she got rid of his ass, right? And go on her own spiritual journey of truth. I'm sure she would have even left the Buddhism alone, but that's where she ended up. She got the truth, but that's where she ended up planting herself, and that was the truth for her, right? And so it took me years later to start understanding, as I started, raising consciousness, start studying religion, where things came from. I said, wow. So she was raising her vibration. That's African. And so she was started looking for the Christ within. Buddha said you find the Christ. Buddha was the Christ, looking for the Christ within you. And the young, we were like, man, mom worshiping the devil. What's happening around here? So we didn't understand none of this. So like I said, guys, yeah. We're going to Joe. What you gonna show us? I got on my tangent. I'm gonna come back on tonight, guys. Though. So
Play this Ibrahim. There's an echo on your end. There's an echo on your end. Echo, man. I don't even put my mic on mute. I don't know if I got no echo. But today, guys, I'm gonna talk about Ibram Traoré and how. So now I'm gonna talk about Ibram Traoré and how important he is. And this will be the first show I did in a month. Wow. You shut up, Joby. How important it is for African people globally. And what you see happening here is really a changing of the guard. And like they say, they know if this is allowed to succeed, guys, there's also this ends white supremacy and it puts Africans back on top. And so he was going to be the catalyst. Not just that's just him. You've never seen Africans unite, especially one leader. So the whole African world has united under one individual. So this is mind blowing. Go ahead, Joe. Mute my mic.
Africa, a quiet rebellion is raging, and at the center of it all is a young soldier with revolution in his voice and Thomas Sankara in his blood. He came to power through a coup d'etat, but not the kind the West supports, not the kind backed by IMF loans or photo ops in Paris. In just months, he did what few African leaders have dared to try: expelled the French military, tore up military agreements, cut ties with Western financiers, and called out decades of neocolonialism masked with freedom. To his supporters, he's the second coming of Thomas Sankara. To his enemies, he's a dangerous insurgent with Pan-African agenda, and now they call him dangerous. Ibrahim Traoré isn't just changing his country, he's challenging the global order and inspiring a new wave of African defiance. From Burkina Faso to the Sahel to the rest of the continent, his name is chanted by the defiant and feared by the powerful. But who exactly is Ibrahim Traoré? What does he want? And why is the West scrambling to contain his rise? To understand Ibrahim Traoré, you need to understand the land he comes from, a country that has buried more revolutions than any other on the continent. Burkina Faso, formerly Upper Volta, was renamed by Thomas Sankara, the iconic anti-imperialist who ruled in the 1980s. Burkina Faso means land of upright people. But since Sankara's assassination in 1987, orchestrated with foreign complicity, the country has been anything but upright. Over the past decade, Burkina Faso has cycled through 5 heads of state, weathered multiple coups, and seen large parts of its territory fall to jihadist insurgents, despite millions of dollars in Western security support. In the midst of the chaos emerged Captain Ibrahim Traoré, a soldier trained in the University of Ouagadougou and a seasoned artillery officer. He served in the northern Sahel, where villages were routinely torched by terrorists and citizens left unprotected by the state. But unlike many in the officer class, Traoré didn't just take orders, he started asking questions. Why, despite billions in aid, was Burkina Faso losing territory every week? Why were French troops stationed in the country if attacks were only growing? Why was the country consistently topping lists of the world's most neglected displacement crisis, with nearly 10% of its population forced to flee their homes due to violence and insecurity? And why were the nation's mines being drained by foreign companies while citizens couldn't access basic needs?
Aucun sacrifice ne sera de trop.
No sacrifice will be too great to take this country out of the situation in which it finds itself. So, our commitment is for a return to peace, and our compass will always be the people.
This wasn't just a coup, it was a declaration of disobedience. Traoré framed it as a rectification of the previous military administration led by Paul-Henri Damiba, who many accused of being too cozy with the West and too hesitant to break old ties. With no background in politics and no financial elite behind him, Traoré leaned on something much older, Burkinabe patriotism and the spirit of Sankara. He began echoing Sankara's speeches, nationalizing narratives, and urging youth to rise, not with weapons, but with tools, imagination, and hope. But hope alone isn't what makes the West nervous. It's what came next that turned Traoré into a geopolitical threat. Since gaining independence in 1960, according to data from the Africa Center for Strategic Studies, Burkina Faso has seen more coups than any other African nation, a whopping 9 successful coups with at least a dozen failed attempts. In 1966, Colonel Sangoule Lazimana overthrows President Maurice Yamego after mass protests against austerity and authoritarianism. France keeps close diplomatic ties, no sanctions, no outrage. In 1980, Colonel Saye Zabo topples Lamizana in another military coup, another military man, another promise of reform. But the economy stalls and foreign aid becomes the lifeline. In 1982, Major Dr. Jean-Baptiste Odrogo overthrows Zabo, promising reform. In 1983, Captain Thomas Sankara, just 33 years old, takes power in a revolutionary coup. He slashes government wastage, promotes local industries, and launches a war against corruption, illiteracy, and foreign control. In 1987 comes Blaise Compaoré, Sankara's closest ally, overthrows and assassinates him in a France-backed coup, ushering in almost 3 decades of authoritarian rule, a pivot to the West and neoliberal compliance. In comes 2014, Compaoré is ousted by a popular uprising after attempting to change the constitution to extend his rule. He flees to Cote d'Ivoire. His French allies fall silent. In 2022 January, Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba overthrows the civilian government of President Roch Kabore, citing a failure to contain a jihadist insurgency. But he keeps close ties with France, keeps their troops, keeps their contracts. And in 2022 September, Captain Ibrahim Traoré overthrows Damiba in a counter-coup, accusing him of betraying revolutionary ideals and protecting foreign interests. Despite all these coups and counter-coups, everything changed for the country in 1987. That's when Thomas Sankara was gunned down and ousted in a coup plotted by his closest ally, Blaise Compaoré. The revolution that once threatened French mining contracts and Western dominance in Africa was silenced, and a puppet regime was installed. For 27 years, Compaoré ruled with the invincible to the naked eye approval of Western powers. Burkina Faso opened its goldfields to foreign corporations, privatized state industries, and France-Afrique was in full control. Burkina Faso became what scholars called a semi-sovereign state, outwardly independent but internally guided by external levers. Born in 1988, a year after Sankara's assassination, Ibrahim Traoré grew up under the Compaoré government. But unlike many of his generation who fled abroad or retreated into silence, Traoré chose to serve. What shaped him wasn't just military doctrine, but the realities of war in the Sahel. Since 2015, Burkina Faso had faced a violent insurgency led by Al-Qaeda-linked and ISIS-affiliated groups. He served in some of the hardest hit regions, Lorum, Yatenga, and Soum, where state authority had collapsed.
Pause it for a second, Jeremy. Pause it. So what you found out is that they got rid of Thomas Sankara, and so all the riches can go back to white people. So the puppet, he was getting his money, but everybody was impoverished. You got the French flag there, of course. So all the resources, white people can come back and plunder it still. That's what it's always about. The plundering is still of African wealth for Europeans and Asians and other people. Africa is supposed to stay poor while other people get rich off of Africa's back. So that's why he's a threat. because they haven't been able to kill him. And I'm going to show you guys tonight. I was going to show it today. I don't think I got time. I'm sure on the night show how intricately the last one was done. It's brilliant the way they were about to kill him. So I'll show that tonight. But this is what this is always about. To make sure Africa's wealth never benefits African people. And see, what they've always had for years that the Africans were not sophisticated, were always ignorant, and African people were loving, so they're docile. And now you got an awakening happening, which they don't understand. It's not just that you're not going to be able to put this genie back in the bottle no more, because you got African youth that are not stupid no more, like their grandparents and their great-grandparents. It's no more just going to just be, stealing from us. They now know that they're poor because Europeans have been stealing from them. They finally understand this now. They understand the concept that Africa is not poor. African people are poor because we lost control of our own resources. People, these savages. So that's what's going on. That's why they need. And as an example, if he's able to stand up as an example, there's a domino effect. The domino falling down. All African nations around him. These leaders were not. That's why these leaders are scared to death, because one good example, it puts a fire throughout. That's why everybody was protesting for him. This is dangerous to all African leaders. They're all puppets. And so what you see is the youth is ready. The youth is ready to fight. See, they're already united now. This the whole thing is always to keep Africans what? At each other's throat. That's why I told you we see the social media. Africans talking about African Americans. African Americans talking about Africans. And that's all to cause division. That's how they rule, divide and conquer. So now they're seeing a united Africa, say you touch them, and then we go to war with all of it. They can't. They don't got the numbers anymore. There's too many youth. They'll never get Africa back. That's what Africa's gone. I'm telling you right now, French, America, Africa's gone for you. Like they said, within 15 years, Africa will be the superpower. That's what they're trying to stop. Not just the power, Africa's going to be the superpower. Power of the planet, because it's the wealthiest continent. So that's what they're trying to stop. They already know the trajectory of Africa to become a superpower. I've been looking at the analysts saying within 15 years, because Africa has everything. 15 years, it'll be a superpower. I don't know what you're going to do. And you've done wicked shit. You haven't decided to make amends and apologize. It's going to be rough on you Europeans. Go ahead, Joe.
French forces present in the country under Operation Barkhane rarely intervened directly to protect civilians. He, like Sankara before him, began seeing the war on terror not as a security partnership, but as a cover for neo-colonial extraction. He began to question his own side. Something didn't add up. Missions were underfunded. Despite years of foreign military aid, intelligence on terrorist movements were often withheld or delayed. French forces in the region seemed more interested in guarding mining corridors than protecting civilians. The contradiction became too loud to ignore. In 2022,
they only guard the mining that they were stealing from, not the civilians. They were guarding the mining where they were stealing all the gold and everything else, And the funny, there are no gold mines in France. And France has the third largest gold reserve. There's no gold mining. There's no gold mines in England. England has like the second. How the hell they got all this gold? Africa. Go ahead, Joe.
Under Lieutenant Colonel Damiba transitional government, Traoré grew disillusioned. Damiba had promised a new direction, but had refused to cut ties with France. French troops remained in their borders, agreements stayed secret, and the people's suffering worsened. Traoré listened, and when he marched on the capital in September 2022 with loyalist units, it wasn't just a coup against Damiba, it was a coup against the system. An unknown 35-year-old had just ousted a French-leaning general and declared that Burkina Faso would reclaim its destiny. Fast forward to today, Ibrahim Traoré has openly embraced Sankara's legacy, igniting a revival of Pan-African pride and anti-colonial sentiment in Burkina Faso and beyond. In the colonial playbook, there's an unwritten rule. You can rebel, but only within the lines. Ibrahim Traore didn't just step outside the lines, he tore the whole page out. Within just 4 months of taking power, he expelled the French military from Burkina Faso, ending Operation Sabre, a counter-terrorism force housed at a base near the Ouagadougou airport. He also terminated a 1961 military agreement that allowed French forces to intervene at will in Burkina's internal affairs, a relic of colonial-era cooperation in quotes, deals still active across francophone Africa.
Aucun d'entre eux ne serait aujourd'hui avec un pays souverain si l'armée française ne s'était pas déployée dans cette région. Nous avions une relation sécuritaire. Elle était de deux natures.
And pause. You hear this moron like 2 days ago. We're not going to leave Africa because Africa needs us to develop. They've been there for 100 years. They ain't never developed nothing. The Frank countries that they control, none of them are developed. They're all effed up. We're not going to leave until we help to develop Africa. He said, you're not crazy, you're not psychopathic. This moron said, because they need Africa. Africa don't need them. They need Africa. That's the whole thing. So they ought to be honest. But Africa, they're poor. England's poor. They all gonna go back to poverty where they belong. So that's what's gonna happen because they're wicked and evil. So they haven't come to terms with this yet. You don't come to terms with it now because you're going back into poverty. As Vladimir Putin told you, what you got in Europe? Nothing. So why is Europe rich? Because of Africa, because it's still in Africa. What does Europe have? Nothing. They have no resource. They have no gold, no cobalt, no coltan, no iron, no nickel, no copper, no. They have no gas or oil. There's no oil there. There's nothing there. There's nothing there to sustain its fake economy. The economy is based on the robbing and stealing from this continent, right, from Africa. There's nothing in Europe to explain why they're wealthy and Africa is poor. And that's why they don't want to leave. None of them want to leave. They want their bases there. Go ahead, Joe. Oh, Jibber Jab just got it. I thought you was here all the time. Go on, Jibber.
Le terrorisme, depuis 2013, on avait raison. Je crois qu'on a oublié de nous dire merci. C'est pas grave, ça viendra avec le temps. L'ingratitude, je suis bien placé pour le savoir, c'est une maladie non transmissible à l'homme. Et je le dis pour tous les gouvernants africains qui n'ont pas eu le courage vis-à-vis de leurs opinions publiques de le porter, aucun d'entre eux ne serait aujourd'hui
accusing them of broadcasting disinformation and destabilizing narratives. He banned French NGOs involved in what he called intelligence gathering under the mask of development. Burkina Faso produces over 70 tons.
I get rid of all their media, exactly. All this gold that you see in England and in France, this is Africa shit. This backs their fake currency because they don't have any gold. Where do you think all these gold came from? And then all the gold that they stealing from over in the Arabian country in Dubai. This all comes out of Africa. Where African people stay in poverty and run there to get jobs and all this crazy stuff. Well, all the wealth is in Africa. African people running to Europe to get fake jobs, run the Arabian country to get fake jobs because all the wealth is being stolen out the continent with these bootlick handkerchief head leaders who are morons put in power to make sure this continues. Talking about
tons of gold per year, making it among top 5 largest gold producers in Africa. But more than 90% of that wealth is controlled by foreign companies, mostly Canadian, British, Australian, and French. Traore's administration began
90% control by all European countries. How's that possible? And they see they're so savage with their stealing. You think you would at least say, okay, well, we're stealing so much. Let's at least develop Africa. Let's at least do that. Give them some of that stuff back. No. Because remember, they get joy. They see us all messed up and say, we're superior. Look at you Negroes all dirty and backwards and messed up. And you're not even knowing the wealth that they got is from you, from your very soil.
I'll send the link. You guys see, for those who are requesting the link of this video, I'll send it. If you are on WhatsApp, kindly Jarake, let us know. If not, let me share the link right here. I hope you're gonna be able to tap into it.
Auditing all mining contracts, reviewing concessions signed under Compaore and Kabore, and called out the gold drain that left the country underdeveloped while European stock markets profited. At the same time, time, Traore also got plunged in a different kind of war, one waged in newsrooms thousands of miles away. The minute he took power, Western media outlets unleashed a barrage of labels: junta leader, Putin proxy, militant captain, rising threat. But here's what they often left out: that Traore's rise came after the total collapse of trust in Western-backed governments. Instead of analyzing what brought him to power, they focused on painting him as the latest African strongman. After his government had suspended French media, the Western press responded without...
It doesn't do the same thing they did Gaddafi. They didn't realize there's an awakening happening. The African youth were not going... And Gaddafi wasn't one of ours anyway. He was in Africa, but he's not one of ours. So you didn't get the memo that Africa had already woken up. You weren't going to be able to do the same kind of propaganda that you did with Gaddafi. Oh, he's a lead. You know, they talking about he's taking money, and all these other puppets are the ones stealing all the money from Africa. All these other puppets from Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Togo right here, Benin, Nigeria. These are the ones still, but nothing's ever said about these puppets stealing money. All of a sudden they're focusing on Burkina Faso, which they never talked about until he got control of the country. Because he said, no, all this stuff is coming back to us. We're going to nationalize it. This gold is ours, not yours. So this gold is going to benefit my people. So he took the gold, paid up all the fake loans. So they don't want to see you're supposed to be in debt. So they keep stealing from you. So pay up all your fake loans. That's paid off. I take the gold now and I start building the country up because we have the money. I'm not giving the gold to all these white people, these white corporations. That's over. That's why you hear it in the ear. When Smedley Butler told you the war is a racket. So it hasn't changed. So you got the corporate say, hey, you need to get the military up in America. Hey, we need this man gone. He's effing up our money. We got to get his ass out of there. We got to start the propaganda going. We got to get him out of it. But you didn't get the memo that you weren't going to be able to divide the youth. So you're not going to be able to get to him. You're going to keep trying, but you're not going to get to him.
Mm-hmm. Time's up.
Outrage. But here's the contradiction. In a country where trust can mean the difference between survival and collapse, information isn't neutral, it's tactical. This is why Burkina's government intensified its crackdown on foreign media with a...
And you know why it's at its highest value right now, Jibba Jabba? Because the American dollar is collapsing. The scam is coming to an end. This fake money, this fake paper, all this paper you get with people with white people's faces on this paper you make. Tell me this is worth gold and stuff. This paper that you just make from nothing, right? So now gold is now that because they've always manipulated the gold price, but now the dollar is collapsing. The illusion is collapsing, so that's breaking gold out. Bro, gold's going to keep on going high because it's the real wealth, not paper. Can't give me paper with people's faces on it and tell me this is worth 1,000 bars of gold. And so that illusion is collapsing. And so now gold is rising again. And so that's why Africa's going to be super rich because all the gold is in Africa. That's why this is crazy. Everything's happening at the right time. It's funny. Go ahead, Joe.
Zero tolerance policy towards biased reporting. After Human Rights Watch alleged that Burkinabe troops massacred civilians in 2 northern villages in 2024, the government swiftly suspended outlets like the BBC, Voice of America, and Human Rights Watch itself. Authorities also banned The Guardian, Le Monde, TV5 Monde, Deutsche Welle, and several others, accusing them of an orchestrated media campaign to discredit the armed forces.
Yeah, it's all fake. Now they're on the human rights list. The Burkina Faso, see all these fake organizations that white people create to make sure they stay in power. Oh, he's now going against human rights, but they're the ones brought the terrorists in to kill African people. But they tell Ibrahim Traoré is violating human rights. Everything they do is a lie for their benefit. It's all lies. Go ahead, Joe.
All their websites were blocked until further notice. Yet, Traoré has been gaining local support with citizens, seeing him as a protector from external manipulation and internal chaos. But even think tanks and analysts joined the fray. The Atlantic Council, Brookings Institution, and others published op-eds warning of autocracy, foreign influence.
All these white superior think tank, the Brookings, white supremacy think tank, all these think tanks, all against Africans actually taking back. All I want to do is just take the stuff back that's in my house. It's mine. But if I take back my stuff, it makes white people poor. They've been stealing all my stuff and leaving me butt naked and messed up in the outhouse, right? like Joby and damn Tanzania being bit by a mosquito. I'm in the outhouse all messed up. I'm supposed to just stay like this. I'm not supposed to get dignity and respect, and all the stuff belongs to me.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. It's exactly like the video I was sharing earlier on my show, whatever that guy was saying. We have leaders who just go to these countries as bootlickers, and that's why the disrespect of Africans globally, it's just there.
And that's exactly what you said, global. Until Africa gets its respect, African people globally will never get respect. Until the mother, Africa's the mother. No matter what these FBA morons say, I'm Black American. I don't identify that FBA nonsense. My family's been here since 500 years ago. So spare me with that. So Africans get respect. You won't be respected nowhere you go. That's why we disrespect everywhere we go. Disrespected in America, disrespected in Jamaica, disrespected in Brazil, disrespected in Colombia. Everywhere we go, we're disrespected and supposed to be impoverished.
Mm-hmm.
And regional instability. Yet many of these same institutions receive funding from Western defense contractors and governments with a stake in Sahel geopolitics, raising questions of conflict of interest. Control of information is control of perception, and perception shapes policy. If Traore is seen as a liberator, he gains international sympathy. If he's painted as rogue, he becomes a justification for sanctions, isolation, or worse. This is why the media war matters. And in this sense, Traore was already under siege long before a shot was fired. What truly frightens the West is Traore's vision of a Burkina Faso and a wider Africa free from foreign dependency. His policies echo Sankara's philosophy.
There's like the domino effect of all of Africa. And little Kenya right there. All of Africa becoming one. That's the fear.
Of self-sufficiency.
I don't care about these Muslim countries up there. Talking about Black Africa.
Food security and military independence. For decades, Western economies thrived off of Africa's dependence. Traore's Burkina Faso threatens that economic model, serving as an inspiration for African countries longing for real independence. Then came the coup and assassination attempts. In December 2023, rumors of an attempted ouster of Captain Traore circulated widely. Though never officially confirmed, diplomatic sources cited increased U.S. satellite surveillance over Ouagadougou around the same period. In response, Burkina Faso's elite presidential guard expanded from 800 to over 2,500 personnel within just 6 months. A senior Burkinabe officer, speaking anonymously, reportedly told Jeune Afrique, "We are not naive. We remember what happened to Sankara." Tensions further escalated recently when U.S. AFRICOM Commander General Michael Langley accused Traore of diverting national gold reserves to finance his own security rather than the public welfare.
Why you worry about Traore? Why you not worry about the other bootlicks that are stealing? So we know what this is. See, the youth not dumb no more. Why would you be focusing on this and not the other ones that steal it? because you're mad he's not stealing. He's not giving you no money. That's what you worry about. And if he stands it up, it's going to be a domino effect. Go ahead, Joey.
The usual historical tactic to manufacture consent for an invasion. In a rejoinder, the Burkinabe government dismissed the statement as imperial propaganda and released a public audit denying the allegations. 2 years before this, Burkina Faso was suspended from ECOWAS alongside Mali and Niger under the banner of restoring supposed democratic order. This triple suspension coincided with the formation of a new Sahelian alliance named the Alliance.
Go back into the white control thing that white people built called ECOWAS, the fake white thing, like the fake white Eastern African nonsense built by white people. And the whole thing controlled by the African Union, controlled by white people. All fake, all phony. So we go our own way and actually build real unity. Now this is a threat because it's real. It's not controlled by the Caucasians. It's real. That big
Alliance of
Go ahead.
Sahel States, or AES for short, between 3 states focused on mutual defense, self-determination, and expulsion of foreign military presence. While Western powers have labeled these states pariahs, surveys and expert analysis suggest strong public support in Burkina Faso for deeper regional integration with the neighboring Sahel countries. Despite escalating external pressure, public support for Traore's administration has remained strong. Over 50,000 civilians volunteered to join Volontaires pour la Défense la Patrie, or VDP, which translates to Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland, a number verified by the Ministry of Territorial Administration. What happens when a young African doesn't beg for aid, doesn't fear headlines, and doesn't wait for permission? You get Ibrahim Traore, and you get a new kind of Africa, one that's not waiting to be saved, but standing up to be sovereign. The question is, can the West tolerate an Africa that thinks for itself,
It is amazing.
that governs itself,
It is
that
amazing.
defines?
I knew it was coming. I know where it was going to come from. But I said, this is coming. It is amazing, jibber jabber. So this is coming. And I can put the genie back about. But let me show you before we do get out of here. And we got to get out of here. Let me show this. So this, I don't know if I showed you a picture of my daughter's mother, right? So you better not. It was you bet not be with that white woman. You better not be with that white woman. You better not do it. You better not do it. Her without no makeup on. You better not. You better get that white woman out of here. You better not do it. I said, Nakia, calm down, man. I'm just doing an interview. You better not. You better get out your car. You better get her ass out of there, Keith. And Nakia, calm down. I'm just doing an interview. So this you got. I found out I had a daughter I didn't know about. This is her mom. So this is Nakia. She also called me a couple of weeks ago too when I was down on the Mexican border. So still we still have a really good relationship together. But this is her, right? That's her right there. Was going all crazy. You better get that white woman out your car. You better get out of there. Right? So like I said, so this is her. You better get that white woman out of there. What you doing? You better get her ass out. And then the white woman heard. Who's that? Who's that talking about a white woman? So we're gonna wrap this up, guys. We got 3 minutes. Let Joby get on out of here. Enjoy the weekend, guys. I'll be back on tonight for the first time in a month. Wow, to talk about Burkina Faso and its importance of Black people everywhere. Yeah, she's she'll tell you she's pretty. That's not, and that's her without no makeup on. She told me when she called me like 2 weeks ago, right? I was down on the Mexican border, and because she came back with some cruise or some shit, right? Because I called her what they call I called her passport granny. I said the kid because her ass like Joe. She works out, so she's still really in great shape. She works out all the time, so. She said she was down on a cruise down in the Caribbean. I know she said she just got back from Barbados and Virgin Islands. I said, what the hell are you doing down there? So I was on a cruise, but I was out. I was in the gym and some young boys were trying to talk to me. I said, oh, so you're so you asked a passport granny? That motherfucker ain't no passport granny. What you talking about? You passport granny? Got the young boys coming after you. Child, you know, black women. Child, I ain't trying to be dealing with no black young broke boys, especially not from no islands. What are you talking about? You know, I know I'm still sexy. All right, calm down. I'm not eating in your. I'm not digging in your ugali. Calm down.
Anyway, much love, family. A beautiful weekend. Thank you so much, Devon, was tuned in on today's conversation. And of course,
you always say
you enjoy.
Oh, no. I'll be back today, man. I do always say that. I'm tired. I was here all day.
Yeah.
Usually,
exactly. Always say that.
Be quiet, Joe. I do say that email because I usually just came in, but I've been here all day. Usually I'm not here all day, and usually I be tired. I be like, but here I'm here today. So right, so.
Pray to Jesus.
Yeah. Jesus can kiss my ass. So anyway, I'll be back on tonight. Email 9 o'clock Eastern. 9 o'clock Eastern. I definitely will be here tonight. Email. tonight, definitely, right? Because usually, like I said, when I come in, I'm usually tired. I'm usually just now getting in and say, yeah, I come back on. Next time, I'm like, I'm tired as hell. Shit. And then also, like I said, that recently, I've had my sons just show up out the blue, right? On a Saturday, just pop up, and I'm like, man, I can't do no show. I got him here talking about housing and all other kind of stupid stuff.
Yeah, but anyway, much love, family. Have yourself a beautiful weekend.
We'll get Joe some sweet potato pie when we build a restaurant.
See you guys on Monday, same time, same place, right here on the Blackwood Fire Network. Thank you so much for keeping the conversations alive. Have yourselves.
Network down. I don't know. You talking about the radio? Joey's got the radio out. Let me see. I don't know. You gotta get back to me. Let me see. Is you talking about is the radio down? Let me see.
Yeah, on the radio.
Let me see. Let me see.
Same place, right here on the Blackwood Fire Network. Thank you so much.
No, the radio's up. I don't know. That's your, yeah, Joey's live on the radio right now. Joey's live on the radio. She said, thank you so much. Joey's live on the radio email, so I don't know what you're talking about.
So
yeah, website up, the radio's up, TV station's up.
Yeah, so peace, family. See you guys Monday. Hope you're gonna see Kid tonight. And
I'll be on the night. Hey, if I ever said Negro, the N-word, N-I-G-G word in what, a month and a half, I'll be back for the night. I don't mess with ugly women, Jack. I don't do ugly women. There's no woman I ever been with. No, but I did with one ugly woman years ago.